Good morning, afternoon and evening, my crazies, and my name's Angela. I'm the Crazy Poppy Lady and welcome to today's tutorial. Now today's one is the Little Bird C2C. Now of course, as the opening information says, it is for rows 1 through to 20. Now excuse the noise when I lift this up. I'm using it to hide yarn from the husband. No, I haven't got a cushioning fill, so it was the best I could do. Okay, so here it is. Now on this set of tutorials I will just be showing you how to make the cushion. I will not be showing you how to make the blanket, and I will not be showing you how to do the border yet. Okay, if you would like to get your hands on the written pattern, there is a link up in the I button there, and also a link to my Ravelry shop in the description box down below. On that pattern you will receive all the information that you will need to be able to make both patterns, that's the blanket and of course this cushion, and have it finished off so it looks exactly like mine, or at least close to it. Yours will probably look neater. Come on, and let's go and start with this pattern, shall we? I think I've talked your ears off enough. So for today's yarn I've chosen to use a DK, which is a 3 weight or an 8 ply depending on where in the world you are. Now the hook I'm also going to be using is a 4mm. You will need of course a pair of scissors, a darning needle and the chosen yarns. So let me tell you what they are and show you the ones that I'm using. Now all weights will be added onto this section here by the screen, so you will know how many grams I have used to create my blanket. Now I'm not going to go down to exact grams, it will be to the ball or ball and a half depending. Okay, now there is one colour here that you are going to need next to none of, and I'll start with that. That's black. We've got 2 squares. Okay, so really if you've got a DK black floating around, you can grab that one out of your yarn stash because it is a minuscule amount. Okay, the main colour you're going to need is of course a white. Now this is of course the background colour, and here is a fresh ball and here's the one I've already used. Okay, so that gives you an idea, but as I said, the amounts will be on the side here. Now the yarn I've chosen to use today is Signet Pato Everyday a DK. This is 100 grams of an acrylic weight yarn. Now is that my new glasses not focusing in, or is that my camera? Fingers crossed it's the camera. Whoop. There we go. Okay, now within each of these balls there is a 270 meters. It's machine washable at 40. Of course you can hand wash it, but you cannot tumble dry it or iron it, and it's basically a case of make it, wash it, lay it flat to dry. I normally put anything that I make using this yarn in at a 30 degrees just to be on the safe side, but to be honest all of my washing's done at 30 anyway. It's just me being lazy. But of course I do put it in a garment bag. Okay, so the colour for this one is shade 999 white. Okay, as I said, all the details will be to the side there. Now I do actually pick up my Signet Pato Everyday DK at a really good price, through the Secret Yarn Stash. So if you're in the UK, there is an affiliate link down below. Okay, it doesn't cost you anything to use the link, it just gets you to the site quicker. I will give you a list that's on the side there of all of the colours that you will need. Her price at the moment for 100 grams is £1.37, I believe. If I've got that wrong, it will be on screen. Even if I haven't got it wrong, I will still put it on screen. Right. And basically any of the points, affiliate points that I get through you making a purchase through her, goes to buy the yarn for the poppies, for the poppy challenges that I do each year. So stitch me up and make me make more poppies. But getting back to the pattern, our next colour up is the blue, and again it is the Signet Everyday DK. Now this one is in the colourway Cloud. Okay, it's quite a nice blue. It's not quite baby blue, it's a couple of shades up, so that's why I chose that one. Then of course, for mine, I've got a pink, but if you can change any of these colours around, please. So please remember that when I'm making it. It doesn't have to be a pink and blue bird. Can't wait to see what you guys choose, actually. But for me, it is shade 944 Nude Pink. And yes, this is one of the birthday balls that my husband bought me last year, and he only chose it because of the name. He's so naughty. Okay. And then the next colourway up is for her little beak, and for this one I actually chose a shade of yellow over a shade of orange. And you don't actually need a great deal in the blanket. If you're following along and doing it exactly the same way as me, you're only going to need enough for 10 squares, so you really don't need to buy an entire ball for that. You might be able to get away with using some minis, which of course the Secret Yarn Stash also do, which are smaller grammed balls, or of course find it in your stash. And the shade number for this one is 996, and it is yellow. Right, so and now you've got all of the information and everything that you need. Run off to the shop and I'll see you in a bit. And for the ones that have already got it, because you've been popping in and seeing me from time to time and I've spoken about it, or of course you have picked up the written pattern over on Ravelry, there will be a link in this corner if you'd rather have a written pattern to work along with, as well as this video. But yeah, let's get on now with making our square. Right, so before we actually start today, if you have not done any corner to corner stitch before, then I suggest that you have a nose at this video that's about to pop up. Also, if you're using a different yarn or yarn weights me, also check it out and make a little sample square of 10 squares by 10 squares, and then weigh it so that you will know how much, you'll be able to do the math, sorry, and work out how much yarn you are going to need. Okay, so we've got the video up there for the Stitch a Week. We've also got some tips and tricks videos as well that I will link up here. So with all of that knowledge, once you've watched them, we'll get on with this one. Right, so to start off with, we are going to pop a slip knot on our hook. Then chain up 5. Once you have 5 chains on your hook, hook over and count down 3 chains. Into that third chain you're going to place a double crochet. Into the next chain a double crochet, and into the last chain a double crochet. So when you're finished, it should look something like this: 3 double crochets, and then you chain up the side. Now on to block 1, row 2. We are going to chain up 5, into the third chain from the hook, you're going to place a double crochet. Pop another double crochet into the fourth chain from the hook, and your final double crochet into the last chain. At the moment your work will look something like this. I imagine two little feet. You are going to take your first block and rotate it 180 degrees, and then do a slip stitch, okay, just here between your chains and your double crochet. So pop your hook in, pull it up, slip stitch, make it nice and tight. Now for block number 2 of row number 2, you're going to chain 2 and then place 3 double crochets around this chain here. Oops, sorry, around that chain there. Okay. And that is the end of row number 2. Now we're going to move on to row number 3. We're going to repeat the start here, which is chain up 5, and this is how you increase at the beginning of each row. So it's chain 5 and then a double crochet in the third chain from the hook, the fourth chain from the hook, and then the fifth chain from the hook. Hold on to that square, rotate rows 1 and 2, place a slip stitch between the chain and the double crochet. Okay, so that is block number 1 of row 3 done. Now at this point, here's one of my tips. I fold the block back. Okay, it makes it easier and it stops your hook getting caught. We're going to chain 2 and place 3 double crochets around the chain. Bring up that square again, slip stitch between the chain 2 and the double crochet. Pull that nice and tight, chain 2 and then 3 double crochets. Okay, so that is the end of row number 3. Now if you have to put your work down at all and you need to know what row you're on, just count the squares going either along the bottom or along the side, or of course diagonally. It'll always be the right number at this point. Okay, so that's how you can tell your rows up until the time when we need to turn our corner. So row number 4 and row number 5 are also white rows. Okay, so let's do that with you. Start off with a chain in 5 and then our 3 double crochets, rotate your work, slip stitch, chain 2, 3 double crochets, slip stitch, chain 2, 3 double crochets, slip stitch, chain 2, you got it, 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3 and 4. So now on to row number 5. Chain 5, 3 double crochets starting at the 3rd chain from the hook. Rotate your work, slip stitch, chain 2, three double crochets, slip stitch to the next, chain 2, 3 double crochets, slip stitch to the next, chain 2, 3 double crochets, slip stitch to the last block, chain 2, 3 double crochets, right, so there we go, and that is the end of row 5. Right, please take note, when doing these first few rows it can get a little bit confusing when you look at your work. Now I'm holding mine like this, but in fact it should be sitting like this. Okay, so your next row you're going to be working up your work. Okay, so we're not working down, we're working up. So make sure that you've rotated your piece of work now, and a little tip is to grab a stitch marker and just pop that in one of the little gaps on the left hand side, and that way you will know that that is the side that's meant to be sitting on your left. Okay, so there's no confusion hopefully then. Okay, so that is your working yarn should be at the bottom, so should your tail. Okay, and your stitch marker will be somewhere up the top. Okay, don't put it into this one though, because otherwise it may confuse you in a moment. Okay, so now we're on to row number 6. This is where you are going to need some blue. I've got a small ball here. I'm trying to use these up first before I make any more. Now with these balls I like to make centre pull balls or little cakes. I'm finding at the moment with this pattern that the centre pull balls are actually a lot easier to work with because they hold their shape for longer, but of course the choice is yours. Right, so now we're going to start row number 6. Now I'm only going to show you how to add your colour and change colours backwards and forwards and carry once. Okay, so I'm only doing the basics on this video. In a few rows time I will just be telling you the box counts that you are going to need, and I'll explain what I mean by box counts in a moment. Right, so for row number 6 we are going to start with two blocks of white. So we chain up 5, place that double crochet into the 3rd, 4th and 5th chain. So that's 1 in each. Rotate the work, pop slip stitch in and chain 2, and again 3 double crochets, just like we've done previously, but when you get to your third, stop halfway. Okay, just like that. You're now going to take your blue and you're going to put it through on that very last section of the stitch. Then we grab our white white yarn and the blue. We pop our hook through, working over the white to tie it in. We're going to pull up a loop and finish our slip stitch as normal. Okay, so it should look something like that. Now what we're going to do is we are going to work over this white yarn for 1 square. Okay, so we're going to chain up 2, working over that tail, and of course the chain. We're going to do 3 double crochets, stop before you finish that last double crochet. Give your white a gentle tug, don't go mad on it, just gentle. Hook it over and pull it through. Okay, now we're going to pull the blue up and over this block here, and we are going to slip stitch over the blue and of course the chain. Pull that nice and tight. Okay, and then we can drop the blue and hold it off to one side with our little dinky finger. Then a chain 2 and a carry on working up the side of your work in white. In total you should have 3 blocks of white. Okay, so at the end of your work it should look like this. You should have 2 white blocks, 1 blue block and 3 white blocks, and your blue should be sitting up the top here, ready to be caught for your next square coming back the other way. Okay, so on to row number 7. So for this one we are going to do 3 white blocks, then 2 blue blocks, then 2 white. Now after a certain point I don't carry my white, okay, I won't be carrying it on this row, because I'm just going to keep one ball going one way and one ball coming the other. So at this point it's time to tie on or prep my second ball. Be back in a moment. Right, so now for row number 7 we are going to chain up 5, double crochet in the 3rd, 4th and 5th chain from the hook, rotate our work, slip stitch in the normal spot, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and we're doing 3 white blocks this time. On the third double crochet of the third block, you will be changing your colours. So at this point we take our blue, lay it across the top of your work, okay, and hook it over and then pull it through. Sorry about that. Right, and then we place our hook underneath that blue and through the chain, pull up a loop and slip stitch it closed. Now chain 2, and we are going to work over that blue tail that we've just created, okay, and of course our chain with 3 more double crochets. And we are going to then do another blue square. Oops. On the second square, third double crochet, leave it as it is, and then join our white yarn. Do it exactly the same way you did with your blue. Okay, chain 2. What have I done there? Oh, part working in my ends. Okay, make sure the blue is off to one side. Okay, and then we're going to a double crochet, 3 double crochets. Now you can cheekily work over your end as you're going with this section, and then leave a bit dangling for later to finish your sewing in. And we're going to finish this round out with 2 white blocks. There we go. And then if you've got ends that are going on back one way or the other, all you've got to do is pop your hook through the gap between your blocks, hook over your end and pull it through. Okay, so you've got all your ends on one side. Now I'm saying it like that, don't sew in your ends yet, not for a while. Okay, just in case you make a mistake and have to go back and strip some. It's always best not to sew them in straight away. Okay, now with this pattern today, I'm only showing you, of course, how to do this one block. And once you have this one block, then of course you'll move on to doing the striped section with our join as you go method that I will show you shortly, and then you'll be working on to section number 3, which will be another one of these bird blocks. Okay, but facing the other way, and I'll explain how we're going to do that when we get to the section where we're going to be joining. So don't panic too much about that third block or the fourth one, which is more stripes. Right, let's get back to the pattern. I'm now going to carry on going off camera, and I'm just going to come back and show you each row as it builds up and tell you how many blocks of each colour you are going to need. Okay, if you need any extra help, please remember there are those links in the I button, and if you still need help and you're not quite there, then you know, just give me a kick up the bottom, give me a nudge, and find me over an email, and or pop over to the Facebook group and leave a message there, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But please remember, I'm in the UK and I may be asleep when you're watching this. Right, so row number 8, your box count is 3 white, 2 blue and 3 white. Let me say that again for you. 3 white, 2 blue, 3 white. Okay, so for row number 9, you were working down your work. You will do a 4 white, 3 blue, 2 white. Now what you will need to do is carry your whites along the side of a block and then across the block, working over it and then picking it up for the next block. Okay, so when you get to that section, rewind this little bit again and listen to it and just follow along. So again, that is a row 9, which is 4 white, 3 blue, 2 white. Back for row number 10. For this one, you were working up your work. You will have done a 3 white, carried the blue, 3 blue, and then a 4 white. So let me repeat that again. 3 white, 3 blue, 4 white. Here we are back for row number 11. So for this one, you were working down your work. You will do 5 white, 2 blue and 4 white. Back for row number 12. For this one, you were working up your work. You will need to do a 3 white, 4 blue and a 5 white. So that is a 3 white, 4 blue, 5 white. Now we're on to row number 13. For this one, you were working down your work. You will do a 5 white, 4 blue and then a 4 white. So that is a 5 white, 4 blue, 4 white. Right, so now we're on to row 14. Yep, that's right, there's a new colour being added. Right, so on this row we are working up our work. You are going to need to do a 4 white, 4 blue, 3 white. Carry your white up. We're going to do 1 yellow and then 2 white. Then prep yourself another ball of white, because we're going to be adding that into this section here, and it's only a small section, so you're not going to need a great deal. Now time for row 15. For this one, you are working down your work. You will need to do a 3 white, 1 yellow, 2 white, 4 blue and finish up with a 5 white. Let me say that again for you. That is a 3 white, 1 yellow, 2 white, 4 blue, 5 white. Now for row number 16's box counts. You will be working up your work. You will need to do 6 white, 1 blue, 2 pink, 1 white, add in another pink, 2 yellow and finish up with 3 white. So let me say that again for you. That is 6 white, 1 blue, 2 pink, 1 white, 1 pink, 2 yellow and 3 white. Now for row 17. For this one, you are going to be working down your work. You will need to do a 4 white, 1 yellow, 6 pink and then 6 whites. During this row, you will be cutting off 1 blue, 1 pink and 1 white. Now don't worry, put those to one side. You will end up using those yarns later on, whether it be as part of this square or as part of your second square. Okay, so pop them off to one side and I will give you that count again. That is 4 white, 1 orange, 6 pink and 6 white. Welcome back to row number 18. Right, for this one you are working up your work. You're going to need your blue because we're adding that back, so grab yourself a small ball of blue and get ready to cut off that yellow. Right, so your box count for this row is 6 white, 7 pink, 1 blue and 4 white. That is 6 white, 7 pink, 1 blue, 4 white. Now for row 19. Please listen to this bit because I have a cheeky tip when it comes to the eye. So I will be splitting up the first lot of box counts, adding in the cheeky tip, and then carrying on the row, and then second time round I'll just read the row out. Right, so you ready? You are working down your work. You are going to need to do 4 white, 1 blue, 1 pink, and then the black. Here's the tip. Okay, so now it's time to do the eye. Now I like to do a little cheeky extra bit in this section to make the eye pop more within the blanket. So what I'm going to do is join my black as normal, okay, with my slip stitch, and then grab my pink because I'll be using that in a moment. I'm going to work over my pink and work over my tail, chain 2, and then I'm going to place in my first double crochet. Right, so the next stitch we are going to work 2 double crochets together. So to do this one, you hook over, pop your hook through, work half of the double crochet stitch, stop when you get to 2 loops on your hook, then you're going to hook over, you're going to do the same again. Okay, that will then leave you with 3 loops on your hook, then we hook over and we pull through all 3. Then we go back to another double crochet in the same spot, and this is of course where we swap back out and we add our pink in. And then we move on. Oh, we can drop the black and we can move on and carry on our pattern. And let's get on with the pattern count. Okay, so you've done your black, so now you're going to carry on and do a 6 pink and finish up with 6 white. So let me repeat that whole row for you again. You are going to need to do 4 white, 1 blue, 1 pink, 1 black, 6 pink and 6 white. Okay, so now we are on to row number 20. For this one you are working up your work. You will need to do 6 white, 4 pink, 1 blue, add in that yarn, 1 pink, 2 white, add in the white, 1 blue, and finish off with 5 white. So let me say that again for you. That is 6 white, 4 pink, 1 blue, 1 pink, 2 white, 1 blue, and finish off with 5 white. Now before I go, what I would suggest that you do is you turn it over and you sew in some of these ends. But what I would suggest is that you do not sew anything from the eye to the outside of your work, okay? So anything from this part down, oh, can you see that? Yeah, there's the eye. So anything from there down, don't sew in, leave that for the next video, okay? But these ones here are all safe to sew in. Now, am I going to be a good girl and sew them in? Probably not. Right, so our next row we're going to be turning the corner, so I'm going to leave this video here. This is the end of today's section of the tutorial. There will be another chapter out to you next week, where we get to turn the corner and another corner and we'll finish off this square. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed today's section and I will see you again next week. Please remember, if there are any comments, pop them in the comment section down below. If you've got any questions, you can do the same, or if it's something you think is a bit more urgent and you may wish to email that to me, especially if this is after this video set has come out. Okay, and please remember that there is a written pattern now available over on the Ravelry store, where you have got all of the box counts written down. It will be for a bird facing this way, and there is also one for the bird facing the other way. Okay, right, that is it for me for today. I will see you all really soon. So please remember, stay chilled, stay happy and keep crafting, everybody. Goodbye.